Hello, model railroaders. John back with a 16 by 8 river layout. I've been kind of experimenting with some water, doing some different water things and a little bit of static grass. The sample you see in front of you is a little, I don't know, I guess it'd be about a 10 by 10 diorama I made of just goofing around, cutting a little hill and so on some pink foam. So you can see here, all the stuff is pink. And I just put a little static grass on the top with some flowers on it and then water. So the reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to practice with some stuff. And this I just wanted to try anyways, using the static grass with on a little hill like this. So I bought a new static grass maker. It's called the Static King because I've been using one from Knock, and that one seems to work okay. It didn't work great, so I thought I'd try a different one, and the other one works about the same. So it's either something I do wrong to make it not perfect, or it's just the machines ain't quite as good as I think they are supposed to be. But anyways, that's not really what this is all about. At the end of this video, look at the real good close-ups of the grass. I have some of just the grass, and I think I did some without the flowers in it. I think I did. So just check that out. But anyways, what this is mainly about is the water. And what I've done, I'm going to zoom in here, is I just painted my base water using the Woodland Scenics moss underwater paint, undercover, I guess you call it. It works really well. It's a great color. I've always been one of the people that doesn't think water is supposed to be blue. I believe it's kind of a mossy, greenish clear. But that's just my opinion. You know, people can use whatever they want. I just like this. And the reason I do think that is if you ever go look, if you're ever in a plane, you fly over lakes, they always look that color. So that's kind of why I use it, but that's something else. Anyways, getting back to this, I did take I used Mod Podge on this one. I'm going to zoom out so you can see what I used, this exact stuff. And this is an old jug. I've had this one for about 5 years. Now they say there's a lifespan of this stuff. I didn't care on this because it's just a test. I wouldn't use it on my layout, but it actually worked quite well. And so I'm pretty happy with what it did. It gave me some pretty, I'm going to take my little boat off here. I just put that on there just to show you guys stuff. But or to give you an idea what it looked like. But you can kind of see the water. It created nice. Now these waves, I went a little thick with it, and the waves do tend to dry a little white. So what I ended up doing is I found if you take a hair dryer to it, it dries a little faster and quicker, and the waves will clear up a lot easier, but they weren't perfect. So then I hit the waves. If you kind of look close, I'll see if I can zoom in a little more yet. If you look kind of close, you can see a little tiny bit of a couple different colors. And what that was from is I took on some of the waves that stayed white, I just took a little bit of my undercover paint and touched the tops of them. And then I put one more layer on top of it. And I was going to do that anyways with another layer to somewhat smoothen it out. So, but I did this. It was super easy, super fast. You don't have to worry about it failing on you. You're not going to know 6 months down the road a big old swollen, sunken spot, from using epoxies and stuff. Now, the stuff I was using all along, the Envirotech, has always been pretty good for me. I've had a few little oddball issues with it from time to time, but now it seems that hobby stores aren't carrying that as much as they used to be. So they got a couple other brands. I don't feel like starting over on that stuff. I've used this stuff for about 5 years, so I know how to use the Mod Podge. And so I'm pretty happy with what it is. The nice thing about it is it dries so fast. You put it on there. Yeah, no, they say it takes overnight to about 1 to 2 days, maybe 3 days to get really solid. But within a couple hours, you can touch it. I mean, this stuff you can actually wash this off if you needed to. And this is just from, I imagine it's probably been about 12 hours since I did this. and it's really hard. I can rub it really hard. It's really good. So there's no issues with it. The other stuff, the epoxy types, you have to wait a lot of times up to 3 days to even touch it. You can lightly, with some kind of a light stick or a toothpick, just tap it just to see if it's hardening properly. But if it fails on you, then you got to put another layer on it again, you know, and eventually it just gets to be very expensive. And I've decided I have some of it left, and I might use a little bit on some of the areas where I want the water to be smooth and clear, or just smooth and kind of like it's not windswept or wavy. But the bulk of my river is going to be pretty much, I think, like this. So I'm going to probably go with this. And if I end up not liking it a year from now or down the road, I'll pour some of the epoxy on top of that. On my old one, I did pour it over this before, and it covers it quite well. This is actually, if you look here, it is kind of a water-based sealer anyways. You can use it for that, on your base level underneath your water. So it kind of, because it seals it, gets rid of all the air pockets and stuff like that. So it works well for that. But that's what I'm thinking about doing, and I'm going to probably start doing sample areas on my layout. Start with some of the small ponds and work my way up. A couple of them are so bumpy, though, what I might do is pour a little of the epoxy in there, so micro thin, just to level out some of the bumpy spots. I might try that. So then the other thing, quick, just as long as I'm talking about it, is the static grass. I'm going to try and pull this in here so you can really see it. Now, it's not terrible. You can kind of see it there. Some of it's laying down, and you can see the flowers kind of mixed in with it. It's not horrible, but it did, in some spots, didn't stand up very well at all, like right in this area there. Well, again, I guess that doesn't look all that terrible. You know, I've never had the best of luck with this kind of stuff myself. Zoom back out. And I've really struggled with it, and I hate to put it on my layout. You know, I've already got a lot of the ground cover done, and I don't want to wreck it. You know, it's kind of funny. So I may hold back on doing some of that. We'll see. I even used the proper glue they tell you to use. I bought this stuff, a jug of this, and it wasn't cheap. I can't remember what it was, like 12 bucks or something like that, 10 bucks or whatever it was. So it's not cheap stuff. And now I did also do a sample, and I wish I'd have kept it, using the 2 to 4 millimeter height. That stuff comes out perfect every time. I have no issues. This stuff here is 7 millimeter. So it's pretty tall. It's taller. I've never tried 12, so I don't know how that stuff would actually, if it would work or not. But they say to use a vacuum right after you're done with it to try and stand it up a little bit. They give you, or hover over with the static machine over it, you know, and that pulls it up. And it did. But as it dried, some of this slowly fell down, which leads me to think maybe the glue is not strong enough or acting quick enough. So I don't know. But I'm not a professional, like I said, doing this kind of stuff. I just do the best I can, and I watch other people do it, and I try and copy what they do. So I just thought I'd give you my spin on it and how it worked for me. But the Mod Podge, I'm sold on this. I love it. It works. And like I say, I've been using it for years. So it's worked well for me for a long time. But the static, this stuff, I'm going to use it. I think on my big layout that you guys have been watching me work on, I might skip doing some of the bigger areas of this. I might just do some little tiny areas to patch in. I don't want to wreck my layout and have to scrape stuff off because the grass didn't turn out right. So I'm not going to take a chance. So anyways, I know I rambled on a little longer than I wanted to, and I just wanted you guys to get my spin on this stuff. So all right, well, thanks for watching, and send me any comments you have. Thanks.